It feels like you're doing everything right, but you're still not seeing the results you want. You've put in the time, you've learned the mechanics, but something's just not clicking. The truth is, it's not about just knowing how to do a mechanic, it's about knowing how to do it right. Today in this video, we're looking at 3 key mechanics that I can guarantee you're doing wrong, and I'll show you how the top players use them to their advantage. Really quickly, if you guys are wondering, Dice, who are you? Why should we even listen to you? 2 things. First of all, that's a very valid and very fair question. Number 2, my name's Dice. I'm a top 27 1v1 SSL, but what's way more impressive in my opinion is that I got there on 8 hours in the past 2 weeks when almost every SSL has anywhere from 80 to 120 hours in the past 2 weeks. And so what I do on this channel is I try to help people get to higher ranks without having to commit as much time as your average SSL does. Let's get back into the video. Number 1, flip resets. This is easily one of the most overhyped mechanics in Rocket League because most players don't know how to use them effectively. A lot of people think that all goes into it is just getting the reset, but what a lot of low-ranked players don't realize is that what happens after the reset is what's actually important. Being able to threaten a flip is a lot more dangerous than just going for a flip reset and instantly using it. A lot of you just fling the ball without any real control, and you're kind of just winging it and hoping for the best. The truth is, a badly executed flip reset is worse than just not going for one at all. Higher ranked players don't just go for flip resets to look cool, they use them to gain a real advantage, whether it's setting up a shot, baiting out a defender to challenge, maintaining pressure. There's always a purpose behind it. After they get the reset, they have so many different options they can use to keep possession of the ball. They can continue the air dribble, they can go for a fake, they can place the shot in a really awkward place that the defender's gonna have a really hard time reaching. So if you want to stop wasting your flip resets, focus on what comes after. Start practicing your follow-ups and only go for the reset when you know it can lead to something somewhat impactful. Number 2, wall dashes. Now this is where a lot of players fall into a trap. They learn the mechanic and they suddenly feel like they need to use it every time they touch the wall. But here's the thing, wall dashing just for the fun of it can throw off your positioning, it can slow you down in certain situations. It's a tool, it's not a magic button, right? Higher ranked players know when wall dashing is useful and when it's not. They use wall dashes to recover quickly, to save boost, to reposition themselves without losing momentum. The difference is that they don't overdo it, they don't spam wall dash and just keep going forever. They do it with a purpose. For example, if they're trying to get back into the play without wasting boost, they'll use a few well-timed wall dashes, but if they're already in a good position, they won't bother, they won't even try to do it because they're already in the position they need to be. At that point, there's really no point in wall dashing if you're already at the spot you want to be. They'll just focus on what's happening on the actual field. It's about knowing when it's actually helping and when it's just overcomplicating things and just doing mechanics for doing the mechanics. There's always an intent for mechanics, and when you do a mechanic without the intent, you're kind of just wasting time and you're kind of throwing your position out of the air for no reason. You could just hold your position instead of trying to do a different mechanic. Number 3, air dribbles. This is the most common mechanic that for some reason every plat in my comment section says they can do. And what's really funny about it is when you actually talk to one of these plats or golds or even diamonds and they're like, I can air dribble, they really can't. They spend a lot of time kind of skipping the fundamentals, like skipping basic dribbling or flicking or passing to learn this air dribble. But then when you ask them to do the air dribble, they can't even do it. I just find that super funny how they brag about how they can do it, but they can't even do it. Air dribbles are one of those mechanics that everyone wants to be able to air dribble. Everyone wants to say, I can air dribble. But very few people can actually have a really good air dribble. Similar to the flip reset we talked about, too many players think that just getting the ball in the air is enough. They think that they can just go in the air and kind of wing it, but what they're actually going to do with the ball is kind of up in the air. They don't know what they're going to do. They're just really hoping. There's a lot of hope. And what happens is the air dribble kind of becomes a floating ball, which frankly is just an easy save for any defender above like gold. So what you need to do is turn air dribbles into well thought out plays and not just winging it hoping for the best. SSLs, or really any high ranked player, they aren't just going to get the ball in the air and kind of hope for the best. They're thinking about how to either score, set up a teammate, or bait out defenders into challenging. It's all about control and honestly adaptability. They feather their boost to keep the ball close. They make subtle adjustments with, directional air roll or free air roll to keep defenders kind of predicting where they're going to go. And they always have a plan for what's actually going to happen next, whether it's turning the dribble into a flick, setting up a flip reset, or faking the shot entirely. SSLs, or really any high-ranked player, they're always going to be one step ahead when you have the ball on your cart or in your possession, because when you're in possession of the ball, you have so much more control than the person who's defending the ball. The person in possession can completely change everything they're doing based on the way the defender is positioned, based on the way the defender has boost, based on the entire position of the opposing team, not just one defender. If there's one player just waiting in the net, he's not just going to shoot it at the net, right? So they're always just thinking about the next thing. And that's pretty much what I'm getting at in all of these mechanics here, is when you're doing each of these mechanics, it's important to think of what's happening next, right? In chess, it's not just one move. You're constantly thinking, what is the next move? What are they going to do, and how can I counteract what they're about to do? The same thing applies to pretty much any game, but talking about Rocket League here, we need to be thinking, what is the defender going to do, and how can we counteract what the defender is going to do here? If we go for a flip reset, but the opponent's on top of us when we're going for the flip reset, they're just going to win the challenge every time because we don't have any space. The point of a flip reset is to create space. That's what it is you're threatening that flip the entire way through. With wall dashes, the point is to rotate faster, but when we overdo it, maybe we're already full speed, maybe we're already in position, we're kind of just wasting our position. We're just throwing our position out the door, and we're putting ourselves in a worse position. So what you want to do is have the best of both worlds. You don't want to overdo these mechanics, but you want to use these mechanics to your advantage. That's all I have in this video. If you're serious about ranking up, it's time to stop doing these mechanics halfway and actually start using them to their full ability. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, I have a Discord server where you guys can talk to me directly over there, so be sure to join that as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.